Good morning, students. Today we will start a new lesson in geography. It is lesson number 3, Motions of the Earth. Here, motions means it is the movement. So, in this lesson, we are going to study about the various movements of the Earth and their effects. In the previous lesson in geography, we studied about the globe, which is the miniature model of the Earth. And in this lesson, we will study about the various movements of the Earth. Now let us look into the learning objectives. In this lesson, we will study about the rotation of the Earth and the revolution of the Earth. And we will also study about the seasons, which includes the solstice and the equinoxes. Rotation. The Earth rotates on its axis. That is, the planet Earth spins around its axis just as a top spins around its spindle or needle. We all know what is meant by top. Top means bambaram. It spins around its spindle or needle. Likewise, our planet Earth also spins around its axis. And in order to make one complete rotation, our Earth takes 24 hours. Can you understand, children? Yes. The Earth rotates on its axis and it takes 24 hours to make one complete rotation. And next we say that the sun rises from the east and sets in the west. But in reality, it does not happen so. Because the sun is static, which means it is fixed and does not have any movement. Instead, the earth is rotating from west to east. We have already studied in the previous lesson. Our earth rotates from west to east. So therefore, it appears that the sun is moving from east to west. Okay, children, can you understand? The sun is static. It does not have any movement. Since our earth rotates from west to east, it appears that the sun is moving from east to west. And this movement of the earth on its axis causes day and night. That is, the rotation of the earth around its axis causes day and night. Which country is called as the land of rising sun? Any guesses, children? Yes, it is Japan. Japan is known as the land of rising sun. It got this name because Japan is the furthest country in the east. That is, it is said to be at the greatest distance in the east. And so, it gets the first sunlight of a new day, and thus it got this title, the land of rising sun. The axis of the earth is not vertical. We have already studied this in the previous lesson. The axis of the earth is not vertical, it is not straight, but it is tilted at an angle of 66.5 degrees. Can you understand, children? The axis of the earth is not vertical, that is, it is not straight, it is tilted at an angle of 66.5 degrees. Effects of the earth's rotation. We have studied that the rotation of the earth causes day and night. And now let us consider, if our earth stops its rotation, what will happen? Any idea, children? Yes. So if our earth stops its rotation, then the part of the earth which is facing towards the sun will experience daytime, and the other part of the earth which is on the other side of the sun will experience night, and it will be dark. And likewise, look at the second point. In the aspect of the temperature also, the part of the earth which is facing the sun will experience extremely hot temperature, and the other part of the earth will experience extremely cold weather. And look at the third point. Life would not have been possible on the earth if it was extremely hot or cold. So we need a change in temperature. If either it is extremely hot or extremely cold, then the life would not be possible on this earth. And look at the fourth point. The winds and ocean currents would be very different from what they are. That is, the direction of the winds and the movement of the sea water, which means the ocean current, would be very different from what they are now. So, only the rotation of the earth causes day and night. Revolution. The movement of the earth around the sun is called as revolution. The planet Earth revolves in elliptical orbit. So the path on which the planet Earth revolves around the sun is called as an orbit, and this path is elliptical in shape. Since the Earth's orbit or the Earth's orbital part is an ellipse, the Earth is sometimes farthest from the sun or sometimes nearest to the sun. So the movement of the earth around the sun in an elliptical orbit is called as revolution. Earth's orbit. So we have already studied that the earth's orbit is elliptical in shape. The average distance of the earth from the sun is 150 million kilometers. The sun is not the absolute center of the orbit. That is, since the orbital part is elliptical in shape, the sun does not remain in the absolute center of the path. So therefore, the planet is sometimes farthest from the sun or near to the sun. Since the earth's orbital path is ellipse, the planet is sometimes farthest from the sun and sometimes near to the sun while it revolves. The closest distance between the sun and the planet is 146 million kilometer, and this position is called as perihelion. So the closest distance between the sun and the planet Earth is said to be the perihelion, and the farthest position of the earth from the sun is about 151 million kilometer, and it is called as aphelion. So can you understand, children, what is meant by perihelion and aphelion? Yes. During the revolution, the closest distance between the sun and the earth is said to be the perihelion, and the furthest distance or the position of the earth from the sun is said to be the aphelion. Now let us see what is meant by this leap year. In order to make one complete revolution around the sun, our planet Earth takes about 365 days and 5 hours 48 minutes and 56 seconds, which is approximately said as 365 days and 6 hours. Now let us see what is meant by this leap year. In the calendar there are 365 days and the remaining 6 hours is carried forward to the next year. Every fourth year, which is called a leap year, has 366 days to take into account the 6 hours of every year, which adds to 24 hours in 4 years. In the leap year, February has 29 days, while in other years the February has 28 days. For example, consider in the year 2017 there are 365 days and the remaining 6 hours is carried forward, and in the year 2018 there are 365 days and the remaining 6 hours plus the previous year's 6 hours is added to the next year. And again in 2019 there are 365 days and the remaining 6 hours along with the 12 hours, so 18 hours is carried forward to the year 2020. So in this year there are 365 days along with the previous left out of 18 hours plus 6 hours of 2020. So it makes 24 hours. 24 hours makes 1 day. So 1 day is added to the year 2020. Okay children. So the year 2020 has 366 days. So therefore the year which has 366 days is said to be the leap year. In the leap year, February has 29 days, while in other years February has only 28 days. We have studied earlier that the axis of the earth is not vertical, that is, it is not straight, but it is tilted at an angle of 66.5 degrees. As you can see in the picture here, the axis of the earth is not vertical but it is tilted at an angle of 66.5 degrees. And now let us consider if the earth's axis is not tilted at an angle. That is, if the earth's axis remains straight, what happens? You can see in this picture below, the earth's axis is not tilted and it is vertical. So if the earth's axis is not tilted, then there will be no change of seasons. Children, look at this picture. In this picture, the earth's axis is not straight, it is tilted at an angle of 23.5 degrees. Okay, so due to this tilt, the pattern of light falling on the earth is different. You can also notice that the frigid zone in the northern hemisphere near to the North Pole receives no light, and the frigid zone in the southern hemisphere near to the South Pole receives sunlight. But this situation does not remain so throughout the year. We have already studied that Earth revolves around the sun. So at one position, this pattern of light is common, and when the earth revolves to the other side of the sun, the pattern of light falling on the earth is different. And now look at this picture, children. Here the earth has revolved around the sun and it has come to the other side of the sun. Here the pattern of light falling on the earth is different. Can you notice, children? The frigid zone in the North Pole, in the northern hemisphere, receives sunlight, while the frigid zone in the southern hemisphere near to the South Pole receives no light. So therefore the same situation does not remain throughout the year. We have studied that the rotation of the earth causes day and night. Likewise, the earth's revolution and earth's tilted axis causes the seasons. So we know that what are the seasons? They are spring, summer, autumn and winter seasons. So the rotation of the earth on its axis causes the day and night, and the earth's revolution and earth's tilted axis causes the seasons. Solstice. We know that the planet earth moves in an elliptical path called the orbit. When the earth is at the farthest distance from the sun on both the sides, it is called a solstice. So when the earth is at the farthest distance, that is the longest distance from the sun on both the sides, it is called as solstice. Now look at the picture. Here on the either side of the sun, that is on the left and right hand side of the sun, the earth is at the farthest distance. So it is said to be the solstice. There are two solstices. They are the summer solstice and the winter solstice. The summer solstice. The summer solstice is also known as the northern solstice. The summer solstice occurs on 21st June every year. During the summer solstice, the tilt of the North Pole is maximum towards the sun. That is, the vertical rays of the sun falls maximum at the northern hemisphere. The Tropic of Cancer is closest towards the sun, and therefore the northern hemisphere gets longer days. Therefore, in the northern hemisphere, the days are longer and the summer season is at its peak. The winter solstice. The winter solstice is also known as the southern solstice. This winter solstice occurs on 22nd December every year. The tilt of the South Pole is maximum towards the sun. And we studied that during the summer solstice, the tilt of the North Pole is maximum towards the sun. And during this winter solstice, the tilt of the South Pole is maximum towards the sun. So when the South Pole is maximum towards the sun, automatically the Tropic of Capricorn is also closest towards the sun. And therefore, the southern hemisphere gets longer days and the summer season will be at its peak. So from this picture itself, we can easily identify, children. During the summer solstice, the tilt of the North Pole is maximum towards the sun, and during the winter solstice, the tilt of the South Pole is maximum towards the sun. Equinox. Equinox is the position of the earth when the axis of the earth is so positioned that both the poles are at equal distance from the sun. That is, on 21st March and September 23rd, direct rays of the sun falls on the equator. At this position, neither of the poles is tilted towards the sun. So both the poles are not tilted towards the sun. Therefore, the entire earth, that is the whole of the earth, experiences equal day and equal nights. This phenomenon is called as equinox. There are two types of equinox. They are the spring equinox and the autumn equinox. The spring equinox. The spring equinox is also called as the vernal equinox. It occurs on 21st March every year. The length of the day and night will be equal. The sun's light falls directly on the equator. The northern hemisphere experiences spring season and it is autumn season in the southern hemisphere. So once again I'll repeat, children. The spring equinox occurs on 21st March every year, and the spring equinox is also called as the vernal equinox. During this spring equinox, the length of the day and night will be equal. The sun's light falls directly on the equator, and the region in the northern hemisphere experiences spring season, and it is also autumn season in the southern hemisphere. And next we will see about the autumn equinox. This autumn equinox occurs during 23rd September, and it is also known as the fall equinox. So the autumn equinox is also called as the fall equinox. During this autumn equinox, the length of the day and night are equal. So during the spring equinox also, the length of the day and night are equal. During this autumn equinox, the sun's rays falls directly on the equator. It is autumn in the northern hemisphere and spring season in the southern hemisphere. So are you clear, children? In this lesson we studied about the motions of the earth. They are the rotation and revolution. Rotation means it is the movement of the earth on its own axis, and revolution means it is the movement of the earth around the sun. The rotation of the earth causes day and night, and the revolution causes the seasons. We will have a short recap of this lesson. In this lesson, motions of the earth, we studied about the rotation of the earth and the revolution of the earth. The rotation of the earth causes the day and night, and revolution of the earth causes the seasons. And next we studied about the seasons, which includes the solstice and the equinoxes. The types of solstice are the summer and winter solstice, and the equinoxes types are the spring and autumn equinox. Go through the lesson, children. Meet you in the next session. Thank you.